NSCAA protests in the Northeast return, the NSCN-IM sticks to its demand for a separate flag and constitution, and Asia's oldest football club tournament kicks off. I'm Angana Chakrabarti, and I will tell you the highlights this week from the Northeast region. After nearly 2 years, protests against the CAA or Citizenship Amendment Act were witnessed again in the Northeast. On Wednesday, the Northeast Students Organization, an umbrella body of various student organizations from the region, led protests across at least 6 state capitals, including Guwahati, Itanagar, Imphal, Aizawl and Kohima. Now, earlier this month, Home Minister Amit Shah had said that the government will implement the CAA once the ongoing COVID vaccination drive in the country ends. In Guwahati, the All Assam Students Union held a demonstration outside their office in the Uzan Bazar area after their plan of a protest march was stopped by the police. Addressing the crowds, ASU's Chief Advisor Samujal Bhattacharya said that the anti-CAA movement had merely been stalled because of the pandemic, but it hadn't died. He said, and I quote, "We will never accept this act, which is a threat to the existence of the local people of the region." Among other things, student bodies also raised a demand for the removal of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act and the implementation of an inner line permit system in the region. Meanwhile, in Nagaland, during the 76th Naga Independence Day celebrations, NSCN-IM head Thwingaling Muiwa said that the Naga flag and constitution are indivisible parts of the sovereignty and unique history of the Naga people, adding that the ball is now in the Government of India's court to make the right move, and a ceasefire without political negotiations hold no meaning. The group's demand for a separate flag and constitution have been one of the reasons why in the recent times peace talks with the government have made little headway. In April this year, the central government's interlocutor for the peace talks, A.K. Mishra, had during a week-long visit to Nagaland said that only a separate flag for cultural activities will be allowed. Muiwa in his speech also criticized the government for their pretentious silence over the controversy relating to the 2015 Framework Agreement, which had been signed to end the decades-old insurgency in Nagaland. This wasn't the only peace talk to feature in the news cycle this week. On Monday, during the Independence Day celebrations in Assam, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma had a message for separatist groups. Sharma said that the sovereignty is non-negotiable and urged secessionist groups to come to the table and work with the government for the development of Assam. His comment was covertly referring to the proscribed United Liberation Front of a Home Independent Ulfa I, who had called for a total shutdown and a boycott of the Independence Day celebration. Also, the Mizoram police has now entered the World Book of Records for disposing a large quantity of drugs and seizing a huge consignment of smuggled exotic animals. On June 24th, the Mizoram police had carried out a disposal drive which included the burning and bulldozing of over 930 kilograms of drugs worth 2,362 crore rupees. In its second feat, the state police had managed to seize a consignment containing over 460 smuggled exotic animals. On Tuesday, newspapers quoted officials of the Mizoram police as saying that the London-based World Book of Records' CEO Santosh Shukla had written to them saying that the record-breaking feats would be included in the gold editions of the book. ThePrint also accessed data of the amount of illegal drugs the state police had seized in the past 5 years. According to this, over 5 years, large quantities of drugs including heroin, weed and meth have been seized in the state. Till July 20th this year, the police had managed to seize over 14 kilograms of heroin, 45 kilograms of meth, 672 bottles of codeine and 66 kilograms of ganja. According to a state government official, in the past few months, there have also been growing concerns among people in the state about increased drug trafficking as a result of refugees coming in from Myanmar. Also this week, a noted historical figure from the Northeast found a mention in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Independence Day speech. Prime Minister Modi hailed several women freedom fighters, including the Naga spiritual and political leader from Manipur, Rani Gaidinliu. Born in 1915 in Manipur's Tamenglong district, Gaidinliu belongs to the Rongmai Naga tribe and had joined the freedom struggle at the mere age of 13 years. Gaidinliu had always been keen to preserve the identity and culture of the Zeliangrong Nagas comprising the Zemi, Liangmai, Rongmai and Inpui tribes. After her cousin Haipao Jadonang, who started the Heraka movement against the infiltration of Christian missionaries and British reforms, was arrested, Gaidinliu became the face of the movement. At 16 years old, she was arrested by the British and spent the next 14 years in jail before she was finally released in 1947. It was Jawaharlal Nehru who had called her Rani Gaidinliu and described her as a daughter of the hills. And finally, Asia's oldest football club tournament, the Durand Cup, kicked off on Tuesday. It is being held in Assam, Manipur and West Bengal for the very first time. Ahead of the opening ceremony at Imphal, Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh, a former footballer himself, gave a glimpse of his juggling skills. We leave you with these visuals.
I welcome the Durand Cup tournament in Imphal. This is one of the oldest tournaments in the world. I urge all the football fans of the state and the public to come out in full support and let us play football. Thank you and enjoy.